Where the hell did I go? Did I just knock my camera off?
Eric just got.
I was clapping so loud I knocked my camera off.
Welcome back to The Walkthrough, where we walk you through this week's trending topics in real estate. I am your co-host, moderator, and captain of BAM, Dan Oneil, coming to you live from Long Island, New York, and I am down bad. The Islanders are down 2-0 in the first round of the playoffs. I am sick as a dog. This is my Jordan flu game, if you will. So wish me some luck here. Wish the Islanders a little bit of goodwill. You know, the playoffs don't start until you lose a game at home. Speaking of being sick, I am also joined today by my co-host, the needle mover, the man behind Wilma the Wildcat mask, Eric Brocation. Eric, how are you? Eric,
are you implying that I'm the female mascot for the Arizona Wildcat basketball team?
I'm implying you're the man behind the mask. Like, you're the one that's actually in the costume, yes.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Well, Wilma was dancing around at our wedding a little bit, which was awesome. But yeah, I'm also not feeling well. This is my Jordan flu game. I'm like Tiger Woods limping his way up Torrey Pines in 2008 to win the U.S. Open. So I'm going to pull it together here. This is going to be the best walkthrough of all time.
You look like a lighting director at Coachella. You look
the hell does that mean?
You look like the bat boy for the Diamondbacks. I mean, I don't know. You look like a bag of milk.
I threw out the first pitch at a D-backs game once. Fun fact.
You look like you get stuck at CVS for 25 minutes at the self.
All right, move on with the other inches. I can't do this right now.
All right. Well, anyway, we also are joined today by returning guest, an absolute fan favorite, content pioneer, Miss Utah Paige Steckling. Paige, how are you today?
Doing great. Thank you guys for having me back.
Love the background. Are you sick of us yet?
I'm not sick of you guys. It's been a minute. I feel like you guys always ask me to come on like an hour before. It's like, we'll check everybody else, and then like no one can do it. Paige, can you come on like in an hour?
That is not how it goes. We do the walkthrough last minute every single time. So you are always at the top of our list.
Sweet.
You are. And Paige, so we had somebody else at the same time say that they could do it, and
we told them to go kick rocks.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I hope she doesn't watch this, but all right. Anyway, we also we are joined, but for the first time ever, this guy probably thinks we are insane, but coming today with a huge announcement that we will get into. And it's not that he is also not sick. Great name, great face, great voice from the Six, actually from Toronto, Mr. Tom Storey. Tom, what's happening? Welcome to the show. Do you hate us? You mad at us?
No. Certainly don't hate you guys. Not mad at you. My intro to you was unbelievable. I'll never forget the first time we met. And no, I'm glad to be here. I feel your pain as a hockey fan, right? I'm a Leafs. We've already lost at home, right? So that's an issue. I'm going to game 2 tonight. But yeah, I wish you luck. And I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, they actually looked really good last night. So we shall see. All right, Eric, word from our sponsors. Actually, you want to plug the mastermind first? Should we do that since we don't have
we got a mastermind on May 5th in Naples, Florida, golfing mastermind. You get to golf with us. We're doing a 4-hour digital deep dive where we are going to do Instagram audits, give you an Instagram plan. Ken Pozek's going to be talking about how to build a YouTube channel, Byron Agent Tactics, and Dan and I further covering Instagram. There's a link in the description. It will be epic. Come join us. Yeah, listen, you get to golf, play 18 holes also.
Even if you're not a golfer, though, I mean, the ROI on that, even to spend the entire day with us, we're doing after golf drinks, we're doing breakfast, right? Like, we're even doing Zooms for the people that signed up afterwards. And I think there's only 3 spots left. So the ROI, if I didn't know you guys, I would probably be doing it. So Paige, you should have, well, that's probably a far
trip from Utah.
Yeah. I should have come. Honestly, it sounds so fun. I mean, I like nice hotels. So to like stay at the Ritz-Carlton, and I want to grow my YouTube. So having Ken tell me what to do sounds amazing. Maybe if there's a spot open, I'll just come last minute and embarrass myself on the golf course.
You got 15 days. I don't know. Maybe let's call the hubby up and say, hey, we got to go to Naples, Florida.
He would love that.
All right. Anyway, on to topic number 1. Make sure you throw us a like, throw us a comment here. We're going to be giving away something at the end of the episode as well, so make sure you stay tuned to that. But anyway, topic number 1, BAM's 1-year anniversary on April 18th, which is also my mother's birthday. So shout out to my mom because I know she's watching. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. So topic number 1, BAM's 1-year anniversary, building a media company. 1 whole year. This is insane. And what a year it has been. Eric, you wrote a fantastic article on this and what it's looked like, what has happened, how your life's changed. It really is a great read. So if you have time, the article will be in the show notes. But it feels like BAM has already kind of served its purpose. It's beginning to, between the live shows, I mean, the events, the debates, the podcasts, the shows, the creators involved. It's been quite the ride, and I've enjoyed every second of it. And true story here. First time I ever spoke to Eric, he charged me $500 to post a video on his page. But the first conversation we ever had, I swear to God, this is a true story, was about like sports and betting and stupid stuff. But it was probably 4 years ago. And I said like, hey, one thing down the line that would be really cool is like a course that's not the 75-hour boring real estate course, and a Barstool related, with different creators and, that kind of stuff. And not to compare it to Barstool, but you guys have done a really good job with the shows, and I know how much your life has changed. Trying to get a hold of this guy, he's on a 14-hour Zoom yesterday. It's like, where's the old Eric?
Oh, so, come on. The old Eric is still here. Nothing has changed besides just the 24/7-hour content grind. But are you implying that you came up with the idea?
No, not at all.
You did. You were, it was a little half and half, but it's been an incredible year. It has been a nonstop 24/7, 365 content grind. But I think the best part of what we've done is bring these creators, bring on Tom, bring on Paige, bring on Dan, and just show people that there's so many other talented people in this industry. And then also just like our consistency with the live shows, with the podcasts. Byron and I created the walkthrough the first week, that April 18th week, and haven't stopped. And, the Overask hasn't stopped. Real Word hasn't stopped. They have the Knowledge Brokers podcast. Byron does the hot sheet every single day. He does a live show every single morning, which is an enormous grind to do that. So I think the consistency's played a huge role in this. And, there's just been so many awesome highlights with Bam Bash and the debates with Ricky Carruth when he hucked his dog to the side, and the live cold calls. We had over 1,000 concurrent viewers. So I think we're really changing the game from a content perspective, and excited for year 2. So thank you guys for being on the show and for being big supporters of it.
Well, I think it's cool too, because it's also made all of us like closer, right? Like I feel like like we go to a conference and like Paige is one of the first people I seek out, right? Like to hang out with. And Eric, you also have an announcement that
I kind of brushed over there, but Tom Storey is now officially a BAM creator. He is the voice of Canada, the voice of Toronto. Matt Leonetti calls him the Byron Lazine of Canada, which I don't know if that's a compliment or not. We can't have two Darth Byrons. But Tom, welcome to BAM. We're pumped to have you.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I very much appreciate it. And it's funny because it might have been like a year and a half ago before you guys officially launched. I was chatting with Matt about, all the stuff he was doing with you. I was like, well, what's the game plan here, man? Like, what are you guys doing? And to see where you started with the Instagram account, what you grew that to, and then this, like, I was like an OG broke agent. Like, Eric, I have a sweater that says the broke agent that I ordered from you like 6.5 years ago through Instagram.
That's
so like
awesome.
we've been watching from the beginning, and it's neat now to like come in and join what you guys are already doing and try to bring that spin on the Canadian side, because I don't think a lot of people realize how insane the Canadian market is as well. I know it can be forgotten about on the American side, and I totally understand that because we're so much smaller in terms of population. But the market that I work in Canada, to my understanding, our real estate board is the biggest in the world. We have 80,000 people registered to one real estate board. And if you break it down even more, I think the population of the greater Toronto area is like just over 7 million people. 80,000 people have a real estate license. So you take out the people under 18, and it's like 1% of the population is waking up every day and at least trying to sell a home, which is insane. So the competition here, the market in Toronto is just an ongoing roller coaster of up, down. Like we can never just have like a smooth ride. There's always like never a dull moment. And what I'm going to try and do with BAM is just try to bring in that Canadian content and just show you what's going on here, because I think it's interesting as well. And one thing that I realized too is like a big chunk of the audience, starting with the broke agent and now with BAM, is Canadian anyways. Yep. And I think they're craving more Canadian type of content also. And hopefully I can bring that to the table.
Yeah, we've gotten a ton of DMs saying, hey, we love BAM's content, but a lot of it is not relevant to the Canadian market. So that's why, we made this addition, and we're really pumped to start showcasing that, because in order to expand, we can't just be like, here's what's happening in America. There's real estate going on everywhere, obviously.
There are a lot of people in like Toronto. Sorry, I just had to leave for a second, but there are a lot of people in Toronto and Canada that content producers that have great podcasts that are really doing a good job. You know what I just learned, and I mean this could be completely false. Is this true or not? Because this is not in America, right? Is it true that if you buy a house right now, let's say at a 5% interest rate, and you only have like a certain amount of years to lock that in, it's almost like what we would call like an ARM mortgage, or like an adjustable rate mortgage here. And then you, like, no matter what, you have to like refi and in 5 years or something like that. Is that true?
Yeah, so the way our mortgages work is totally different. And that's why even more than ever that, marry the house, date the rate is a bunch of crap. In Canada, it's like long-term relationship with the rate. And it's usually 5 years is the product most people take. They call it a fixed rate mortgage, but your mortgage comes up every 5 years. They do offer a 10-year, but it's so much higher, nobody takes it.
Wow.
So what we're experiencing right now, because our rates have gone up significantly, like the Bank of Canada follows the Fed, what they do with interest rates. So we've been falling behind. We're still a little bit lower, but a lot of people that locked into a 2% rate are good for the next 4 years. But if rates go up after that, they're going to feel the pain. And then the real people that are maybe in a bad position here bought at the peak of the market with a variable rate. And our variable rate it changes when Bank of Canada goes up. So their mortgage payments, some people have doubled since early last year. So yeah, the way our mortgages work here are completely different. And the penalties, if you want to break a fixed rate, are insane. Like, I think our government should step in and do something about that, because you're paying like $15,000-$20,000 to break the rate, which is nuts.
Jeez.
As you can see, this guy is a stat machine. He articulates the Canadian market to perfection.
Face guy, everything. All right.
Yeah.
Final thoughts here on the BAM 1 year article. And Eric, I'm very proud of you. That's the one nice thing I will say.
Thank you. Paige, any thoughts? You enjoyed BAM Bash, right?
I loved BAM Bash. I showed up early, stayed late, was ready for the after party, which is saying a lot, because since I've been in my 30s and a mom, I'm in bed by 9 p.m. But I love BAM. I'm your biggest supporter. I listen to the hot sheet in the mornings. I listen to the knowledge broker. I am not a stat machine, so I have to force myself to stay up to date on that. So having something that's entertaining while also keeping me up to date, that's quick and easy. I feel like there's such a younger demographic coming into real estate now, with all the real estate shows that make it seem like you can put on some heels and show a $10 million property and make a couple million. There's all these younger people coming into the business think it's going to be easy. But with that younger demographic coming in, everyone wants, quick, easy information that's entertaining. Everybody has a short attention span. So I think what you guys are doing is awesome.
Hell yeah. Thank you. And we appreciate your constant support and your contributions to the blog and videos and all of our podcasts. Your podcast on Over Ask, I think, is either first or second. I think it's you and Tom Storey in terms of total views. Tom Storey's was around 4,000 plus views on YouTube. So
I
both
feel
of you guys
so cool.
it.
I feel like you believed in me when I had 5,000 followers and posting these dinky reels. And when you asked me to be on, I was like, what? I'm not ready for this. I can't do this. So
yeah, we had to refilm that one. I remember I was just so hungover the morning we filmed that. There was something going on with the camera and audio, and then we refilmed it. It was so much better.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Well, congratulations, Eric. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Byron. Congrats, Tom. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Topic number 2. Everyone throw Tom congratulations here. Let's hopefully the Leafs don't get eliminated for the 30th year in a row.
It would be 7th. Yeah.
7, yeah, right. And ever since you got John Tavares. Anyway, topic number 2. 2023's best and worst cities for weed. Yes, that's right. We went from interest rates with Darth Byron to the devil's lettuce weed, Mary J. I don't know, but this is important in many ways. For example, I guess marijuana is becoming legal in New York. The first dispensary opened in Manhattan. An agent on my team is actually selling a lot of the commercial spaces and is absolutely crushing, making a ton of money by doing it. I know a lot of people who have moved because of the legalities behind smoking as well. But just briefly, because this is such an insane little snippet here, the BAM key details. The worst city for weed is Birmingham, Alabama. I believe that. The San Jose, California ranks number 12th of getting high for its 19.5 Taco Bells per 100,000 residents. From when the munchies hit. Not that I know what munchies are, not that I partake in any
not.
of the above. No, absolutely not. But this is the snippet that I wanted to read because this is funny. According to the results of the collaborative survey by Real Estate Witch and Leaf Fly, that was that like a residential marijuana, HubSpot? What the hell? The most weed-friendly city in 2023 is no longer Denver, Colorado. It is now Portland, Oregon. Absolutely insane. We also have here the top 10, I guess, most marijuana or weed-friendly cities and the top 10 least. Eric, would you like to read those for me?
Yeah, I don't have all 10. Top 5 I have. I got
Yeah.
Portland, Denver, Buffalo, Seattle, and Baltimore. And the worst, Birmingham, Memphis, and Louisville. So
Yeah.
there you
Well,
go. This is a little 420 weed stats for you. But I think we kind of wanted to kick it to Paige, because Paige, you're in
That's true.
Utah, right?
Yeah.
So
We're
what?
probably not on the list of like
I was
the.
gonna say, like, what do you get there? Like the death penalty if you smoke a blunt? Like what's going
Firing
on
squad.
with weed in Utah? And
I
like,
think-
do you have to deal with it at all in terms of real estate?
Not really in terms of real estate. Everybody's like smoking it in the closet. But
Right.
yeah, obviously there's like a big religious community here. It is legal. I had to find out this morning when you guys said we were doing this topic because I'm like, I don't even know what the laws are. But medical marijuana is legal. And then my friend Ryan Bowen started this company called Kush Cubes. Shout out to Kush Cubes. He educated me this morning. They're like these gummies you can get. They're completely legal. They're derived from like hemp Delta 9 or something. So they're super clean. And he's like, actually, some of my biggest clients are like Mormon bishops or like Mormon clients because it's totally legal. Like they love taking it instead of prescription pills. They feel great. They can sleep. So he's like, I got to give you some today to try on 420. So I don't know. I've never been a weed connoisseur myself, but everybody seems to love those. And
Thank God you didn't eat it before the episode, huh? Holy
I know,
smoke. You'd
right?
be sitting in the bathroom right now with a pale white face, just putting water and, like splashing water on your face.
Yeah.
Tom, this happened a little bit in my market as well. And we were talking about it while I was listening to the Bad Bunny Coachella set. That's how we met, which is embarrassing. But we were talking about values and how it might affect it, right? So if you put a dispensary, right, or a marijuana store, like a Mad Men or something at the bottom of an apartment building, like that could affect values. So what are you seeing in Toronto? Is that kind of the case?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a rare partaker in weed. I like being in full control of my actions. But it is legal here. So something interesting actually, and you brought this up that you said a team member helping people get a lot of the commercial space for these shops.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the pandemic, I honestly believe that weed becoming legal and being able to open those stores in Toronto, like save the commercial real estate market. But because beforehand, the landlords were like, there's no way we want you to be our tenant. And then the pandemic hit, and now it's getting to the point that it's like I can walk down a big street in Toronto and every 10 stores is a weed store. So
Wow.
at some point they're going to fizzle out here, but you'd see like good corner lots that has Starbucks, and Starbucks shut down a lot during the pandemic. Like if they're not making it work, they're out right away, and they'd be replaced by weed stores. Wow. And we've had this a lot of times where even before this was happening, you'd show a condo to a first-time home buyer, and a lot of time their parents come, right? And you'd walk up, and even before it was weed stores, it was like a vape store. And they'd make a comment on like, that's kind of ugly at the bottom of the building, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now with the weed stores, but they're so common now that it's kind of funny. Like in a row, you'll have like a pharmacy, an A&W, then a weed store, like everything you need to get walking down the street. But yeah, if it were me, I wouldn't want to buy in a building that had that at the bottom. Like I'd rather have like a pharmacy or something like that.
Dan, unless you are somebody that smokes what?
I was going to say, do you live on top of a vape store? It seems like something that you would want to position your unit on top of.
I could throw, I have a bag of cough drops right here. I could throw this out my window and I could hit a vape store. Yes.
Yeah, I agree, Tom. I think it would be kind of unattractive to live in a building with that right below, maybe down the block or something where we could go.
Yeah,
grab
close
it,
enough, but not beside you.
But
yeah,
I
exactly.
also have friends or people that I've known or past clients, even like maybe like cancer related or, that have like some sort of ailment or sickness that they've actually moved and left where, Long Island, New York, and they've gone to places that it is legal where they can walk down the road and they are able to get what they need because it does help them, right? Like teach their own. So I've actually seen people that have moved because of, right, like certain areas, it being legal versus it not. I don't want to harp on this too much. I'm just.
And I don't know what it's like in your markets, but for us with the weed stores, like you can't see into them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of look like dark and dingy, and like some of them look kind of like luxury and upscale, but most of them don't. So I think that's more of the issue than what they're actually selling inside of it.
I have a funny story if I could tell it, Eric, if it's okay
Yeah,
with
do
you.
it.
All right, so
Yeah, of course.
LA, so New York, we don't have this, but in LA, it's called MedMen or something. MedMen. This is. Have you guys seen this before, Paige or Tom?
No.
Okay,
No.
it is like the the Apple Store. However, they're sitting out with the iPad. They got the necklace, like the red whatever lanyard. So they sit there with an iPad. This is the only dispensary I've ever been in my entire life. So they have an iPad, like literally, it's an Apple Store, but for marijuana. So it's like 3 or 4 years ago. I'm in West Hollywood or whatever. So I bring some home for everybody, right? Whatever. Before real estate, I am so smoked. So I eat like 2 of these things, right? I am so smoked. I go to get on my plane. I go through security. I'm literally at the gate, right? I'm looking around. I'm like, oh no, where's my bag? Like my suitcase. I was so out of my mind. I left the bag, which was now filled with takeaways, right? Flying back to New York at like where you punch in to get your boarding pass. So now there's like, they got like the, Monsters Inc. Like, we got a 49. Like they think there's a bomb in the airport because my bag just been sitting there for 2 hours, riddled with weed, whatever.
Oh
Anyway,
my gosh, that sounds miserable.
but yeah, that was not a good experience on my part. But all right. Anyway, any final thoughts, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, I specifically would avoid weed when I was an active real estate agent. After 5 or 6 o'clock, I would avoid it completely. I would avoid it during the entire day just because I would be scared to have any sort of interaction with my clients, or I would start overthinking. And I joke about this all the time, but just thinking that everybody was mad at me, that every sort of communication that I was having, just the over analytical side of my brain. So I've basically avoided it, especially during BAM now. I can't even, like, when you're talking nonstop, you have to be, fully with it. So basically I've completely avoided it for a long time.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts.
I would be locked in my bedroom all day. I'd be in my bathroom, pale white face, just splashing water, like taking showers.
Some agents are just smoking all the time and they're completely fine with it. Like we know a couple that we've seen at the TF conferences, not that this has anything to do with TF, but like we know some agents that they're eating edibles all day. They're smoking all day and
they walk
they're
around
totally fine with it.
I think it affects some people different based on their body chemistry. Like my cousin can smoke it and he's like out, like has tons of energy. Whereas like my weakness is like, I would love to sit and binge watch Netflix. So I don't need something that's going to like encourage that even more.
Right.
So
the worst thing ever was being at Eric's wedding and thinking that one of his buddy had, it was a vape and he passed it to me and I hit it like, I don't know, 10 times. Right. It wasn't a vape. Next thing I know, Wilma the Wildcat, there's a mascot dancing, next to Eric's mother. Oh my God. That was bad news bears. But anyways, all right. If you see values going up and down, depending on weed in your market or your area, let us know. It's an interesting topic, and I'm curious to see what other people's thoughts on it are. On to topic number 3, if that is okay with you folks. And I'm actually really excited for this because I feel like every week it's tough to come up with new material every single week, marketing wise, right? Like do green screens, make sure you're doing this, stay consistent. But this is pretty cool. This is from MrBeast, who, if you're not familiar with, has probably the #1 YouTube channel, I'd say almost in the world. I think he's made about $60 million the last year alone on his YouTube channel, and then selling a little bit of content to commerce. And it's the 2 psychological bases for his success and what he does to get views and what we can learn from them. So MrBeast, again, is a young YouTuber who has amassed an incredible following through non-traditional means. If you combine the subscriber on his channels, they would rank 7th. Okay, whatever. I said first. His videos have been viewed more than 26 billion times. That is insane. He is not just a storyteller. He translates his attention to revenue. So the 2 ways that he uses is number 1, he uses input to create hyper engaging videos that amass millions of views. He started at 13 years old, but he used a lot of the fan input or, his I don't know, consumer input to craft his videos. And he also leverages costly signaling to engage his audience. So he spends a lot of money. Like his videos are high production. He gives away a ton of money, a ton of value. He's also doing a lot of philanthropy. People love philanthropy. They love giving back. Eric, I'll pass it to you right away because it also has like food tours and stuff on here. What was your biggest takeaway from this?
Yeah, he has 2 things that he said really helped the growth of his channel. One is input bias, which means the more time and effort you put into something, the more people value it. So he has like a video where he's literally trying to saw a table in half and he's doing it with a plastic knife and it takes hours and it has like 3.5 million views. But just because you know how long it took, it meant the audience was extremely interested in it. And they actually had a point here about real estate where they said house buyers will value a list that the realtor sends over them just looking online on Zillow. So if the realtor says something like, "Hey, I just spent a couple hours on this," not that you would necessarily say that, but here's a market analysis, here's the order that I think you should look at these properties, and here's a rank of which properties I think you'd like the most. They will look at that and be like, I value this more than the list that Zillow spit out, even though it's possibly the same list. So I thought that was really interesting. And then costly signaling to engage the audience. The more money or resources someone spends to market, the more trust they have in that brand. And I think all three of you do a fantastic job about this. Like Dan, you'll do a little snapshot of your car, you're giving away money, you're showing people like, hey, I'm making money, like I'm actually a successful real estate agent, here's my suit, here's my car, here's my brand, here's my house. Like all that really does help with the respectability of your brand. Tom, your video quality incredible. Paige, your video quality incredible. So I think like the fact that he puts these into his videos and focuses on them so much is really why his content's doing so well. So yeah, Paige, what did you take away from the article? Do you think you use like input bias at all, or like how do real estate agents use input bias to show like, hey, I'm spending a lot of time on something?
Well, I use that, not necessarily input bias. I'm not going to like spend 2 days cutting a table in half because I don't have time. It probably wouldn't be the best use of my time, but in
That's
my
what Eric
listing
does all
appointments,
day, every day. I should start filming it.
Yeah, if this thing gets less than 1,000 views, that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to just start sawing something.
yes, but the other aspect, I can't remember what he was called, but spending money on stuff. I say that in my listing appointments. I'm like, hey, I'm not the agent that's just going to post your house on the MLS. I'm not taking listings right now unless the seller is being reasonable on price, because I'm not just posting it and hoping it sells. I'm spending thousands of dollars upfront, marketing it, creating an awesome video that's expensive, and then marketing that video as an ad, putting it out everywhere. So I'm not going to do that and spend thousands of dollars up front if I know the home isn't going to sell. And so then I think that makes them realize, oh shoot, like she's really invested in getting my home sold. She's putting a bunch of her money into it up front. And if the home doesn't sell, I'm just out that money. So I think it really helps them see the value in my brand and what I'm doing to get their home sold.
Yeah. Tom, what about you?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I do something very, very similar where we talk about how much it costs to bring your home to the market, and I want to make sure that our sellers understand. Like if I average it out, it costs me about $5,500 to bring a property to the market with the staging, with the advertising. Now our market's not cheap, right? So it's worth spending that money. But I want sellers to know and understand that there's a reason why my commission is higher than other agents that don't do anything, is because I got skin in the game. I want your house to sell because I'm investing into your property. And the only reason the other agent would say they're going to do it for less is because if it doesn't sell, they walk away and nothing changes, right? Where I'm out $6,000. So I think making that very clear. And the first one with like, how much time you're putting into something, I think you could also fall into a trap to that, thinking like, oh, if I do more here, it's going to guarantee results. I think how you can translate that to the client is like, as an industry, I think we don't do a great job at showing people what actually happens behind the scenes. And these new Netflix shows aren't helping our argument on this right now. Not necessarily that you're going to have a cameraman follow you around everything behind the scenes and show your client, but maybe what you do is have your assistant or administrator let the seller know, hey, today, here's all the things we did, so they can see you're working your ass off. They're just not visually seeing it. Because most clients, right, especially sellers, they see you at the listing presentation and then maybe for doing the offer in person, but these days it's all virtual. So I think we just do a bad job at showing them what's actually happening.
Yeah, I think the what we've been implementing a lot, I think I learned this from Darth Byron, is the weekly seller communication report. So every single week we're sending them over the Zillow numbers, what we did, our Facebook advertising, right? Like how many showings, what the feedback was. So, we're giving them that weekly feedback. And one other thing that I wanted to touch on with this too, and I think that this is really why MrBeast is as successful as he is, in my opinion, is the philanthropy. And it's something that and the money that he gives away. And of course, listen, you have to be fortunate enough to be able to do that. But in my experience, like my team and my business blew up during COVID because we were out on the front lines donating money and giving food away at that time. The second time it blew up when we started doing the vlogs where like I went to a local animal shelter and I rescued all the dogs and we had it on camera and everybody was crying, right? Like that was one of the best vlogs that we've done. then we, keep doing the giveaways. And when you give back, and, again, you have to have the means and the ability to do so. But when you do that, people get behind you, they root for you, they want to see you succeed. So I think that's another, like, that should be number 3 for him at least, right? Of course, you don't have $100 million to give. He just cured like what, 100 million blind people. Did you see that video?
I don't know if it was 100
It
billion.
was like 100 or 1,000. I think.
100 billion. It's like
sick.
a third of the population of America.
He cured blindness for everybody.
Yeah. The 100x rule applies with Dan. If he says something, and then there's always 100x that goes into it. But Dan, you seriously do a great job of this. You did it with one post a couple weeks ago. You have this new listing that ended up being, $4+ million. So you killed both of these, the input bias and the costly signaling to engage, by saying, here's this, expensive listing. I'm going to give away $2,500 to someone in the comments who guesses, how accurate the price is going to be, which is an insane amount to give away. I think you would have gotten the same amount of comments by just saying $25 or $250. But saying that 2,500 number is like, oh shit, like this guy's making a ton of money, gets people to comment. And it shows like you're putting a lot of effort into doing this. So I think you kind of killed 2 birds with one stone there.
I've actually never watched a MrBeast video, but what I have watched is him doing interviews with other content creators.
Same.
And that's where I've learned everything from. And there's a really good book called The YouTube Formula. Agents that want to start YouTube, like, I would highly recommend it. Daryl Eves wrote it. And the forward is by MrBeast. And I'm paraphrasing, but basically he said, like, you got to make 100 videos. Your first 10 are going to suck. The next 10 are going to suck. The next 10 are going to suck. And then they're going to still suck. But then by video 101, it's going to be better than the first one you did. Yeah. And especially in the real estate industry, we all look to these people that make video content. We're like, oh, they're so good. Go watch their first one. Go watch MrBeast's first video where he's like, literally sawing the table, or the ones he was doing before that where he had no money. Like, we all start someone. So like, don't compare. If you're getting started, don't think like, okay, well, you're chapter 1. Well, MrBeast's on chapter 35.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, the production level too, like, not to interrupt you, but the production level too, like, MrBeast can afford to spend a week making a video. Like, our main job is to sell real estate and market ourselves. Right. So like, don't overthink it, and don't try to overproduce something where, like, Paige, you do an incredible job. Like, you literally make a 12-second video that gets 3 million views. I'm sitting in a restaurant that I just rented out, smashing prop bottles over my head, spending 5 hours making a video, and it gets, 40,000. So it just goes to show you, like, it depends on where you're putting the video, your audience, YouTube versus Instagram versus Facebook, all of the above.
Definitely, the more you do it, the better you get at it. I look at my old videos. I'm like, oh my gosh. I used to get so offended when people call me cringe. Like, that's trolls' favorite insult is to call you cringe. But looking back at my old ones, I'm like, oh yeah, that was so cringe. But it's fine. Like, who cares? You get better, and like, you figure out what works. So
another thing that you do well, Dan, and Derek Gregory does a great job at this in terms of input bias. This is what I was trying to say when I completely forgot my train of thought, is Derek sets up his videos. So he'll do an Instagram story a couple days before with a countdown saying like, new open house video coming out tomorrow. So then you're already invested in it, and this is probably going to be a good video because you're like, this guy's taking the time to actually preview it. You do that too. Say like, hey, I'm launching a vlog, or you'll show the behind the scenes of a vlog. So agents can do that with their listings. We're showing the behind the scenes of the photos and just like how much time it actually takes to market these properties. What's this?
This is just how you are so smart. This is my DMs with Derek Gregory. He posted a clip of a video that was this is literally yesterday that was coming out. And I literally DM'd him back and said, new video ? And then I bookmarked it so that way I can go back because it looked like a really cool video that I wanted to watch.
That's that input bias, because then you're already focused on it. Like, MrBeast sets up his videos where, like, he did a Squid Game one. You knew that he was creating the Squid Game video for months. He had an entire set where he actually performed the actual Squid Game. So you knew this was coming for 3 or 4 months. Then when he announces it, you're going to tune in. And that thing got maybe almost 1 billion views. Just made that number up. It's something like that.
That's the 100x rule right there.
Yeah, exactly. Been hanging around you too much. This thing got 100 billion views. Most viewed video ever.
We say the same thing about your golf handicap. And he also brought up food. He also brought up food and kind of the relatability around it. And we do have something here to kind of transition into a hot take from the Overask podcast with you and Leonetti. Haley, can we maybe pop that clip up here? I want to get everybody's input. This thing was like, people were arguing in the comments.
People were upset about this one.
Blood. People were ready to. Jeez, you literally look like a bag of milk.
restaurant owners. It is a complete and utter waste of time. The restaurant owner does not want to be interviewed. They don't want to collab with you on Instagram so they could get an extra 50 people. You're not going to get that romantic Italian, wine. You're sitting there, the guy's telling the most incredible story. You're going to get a clip. It's going to be the most awkward thing. You're standing there with your little baby mic. No one wants to hear this.
This guy is 3 minutes away from overcooking his chicken and being out of business. The last thing he needs is for you to be sticking a little baby mic in his face.
For a realtor just trying to get content. I know it's like, hey, we're going to promote your restaurant. I've seen so many of these that are so uncomfortable and they're so long and they're so pointless. And I don't see what the viewer gets out of there. Like, go green screen mode and just like review the restaurant. So the point there was to not interview local restaurant owners, which is a cornerstone in the real estate content business. So Paige, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is an effective strategy to interview local restaurant owners, business owners?
I think the idea behind it is good to like showcase your community or like highlight cool spots in the community. But I think it comes down to the simple thing of don't post things that nobody cares about. Nobody cares about the restaurant owner. People care about the food and the vibe of the restaurant. I care about cool new spots in my area. And I almost like the aesthetic of a restaurant more than the food. Like my husband makes fun of me because he's like, where do you want to eat? I'm like, oh, I always pick somewhere cute where it's like a good vibe. Like the decor is nice and he wants to go to a hole in the wall where the food is good. But either way, people care about a spot that's cool, new, like hip in the community, or a spot where the food's amazing. So highlight that. But I don't think people really care about the restaurant owner. And I don't think the restaurant owner cares about like being on social media. He just wants to get people into the restaurant. So highlight the right stuff about it, like the food or the aesthetics. So
Tom, your thoughts?
So I've never done these videos, but I do understand the reason why people do them, because they're told this is what you're supposed to do. And like try to do a video a day. It's like, okay, well, what am I going to talk about? I think the way that we could rethink this is, okay, what's the actual goal of this? Bringing light to your community and maybe creating a relationship with another person that owns a business in the area that you sell homes, right? So what I would probably do is make a neighborhood guide. And it's like this little booklet you can physically have or have it available for download on your Instagram or whatever, and maybe do a squeeze page so you can pick up emails as well. And the neighborhood guide would have all the restaurants in your neighborhood, and you can put like little things beside them, like, new or whatever. Then what you do is you physically go drop this off to all the restaurants, say, hey, just so you know, I'm sending these out to all my clients and I put you in there. Just want to make sure you're aware. Hopefully people show up. Do you want to do any coupons or anything? I think that's probably a better way for the restaurant owner to actually remember who you are, not make it awkward. And some of these videos can be good, but yeah, for the most part, it's just kind of awkward.
Yeah, I think Katie Day does a great job at this because the editing is so good. Like, it's just all these quick cuts and it's quick little snippets of her interview with the restaurant owner. It shows the food. It's not just this long drawn out like 5-minute conversation where there is a lot of awkwardness, and it does usually look like the restaurant owner doesn't want any involvement in this. But there was an enormous amount of pushback on this. One of the comments here says, okay, I just got targeted and attacked, which is a pretty funny way to go about this, as if this video is specifically about him. The point is to brand yourself as the digital mayor in your town. And guess who meets the most new people on a daily basis? Business owners. If I just did a free spotlight for a business owner and he hears somebody who's looking to make a move, who do you think's top of mind? So, of course, there's good counterpoints to this. And there's a lot of people that do get business from it. So it's not necessarily about the content and how the content appears to other realtors. It's like, okay, now that restaurant owner or business owner knows the agent, and by word of mouth, they're actually going to be giving them business. So I do understand that point. My point was just from a purely a content perspective, and I think Matt's was as well, is I just think the videos are boring. And I also think this industry is so soft in terms of everyone has to just be complimenting each other all the time on every single video. If a video sucks, aren't we allowed to say like, hey, maybe people aren't really enjoying this type of content? But it's like everybody in the real estate industry just has to keep like just hyping everybody up nonstop. And we want to do that. But so if I see a video that sucks, we're going to call it out.
Yeah. I mean, we do it to each other, right? I'll send you something and you're like, that is literally like, don't let anyone ever see that, and vice versa. But I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say that the clip of you and Leonetti was such a poo-poo take. Maybe it was just the way that you guys articulated it, because in my opinion, right, like I tell my team to go out and do this, and they do I have one agent on my team who's actually a chef. So he makes food videos, and they're 60 seconds and they're funny, they're engaging. He gets so much business from it. He's actually incorporated his past clients to be the ones that he cooks for. Genius idea. We also do a ton of restaurant, not reviews where you're sitting there fucking eating, gabagool and, oh, the meatballs are 10 out of 10 here at La Familia. not by any means, but they're doing this in a way of they're highlighting the business. The business owner loves it because it's getting them, more reach, more people. You make that relationship. It shows you as like the local expert. And if you start putting these on YouTube, you become kind of the Ken Pozak, right? Ken Pozak is sitting at his, in front of his monitor here, telling you about Orlando. But now if somebody is typing in where to go eat, in the Hamptons, or where to go eat here, Connecticut or Utah, right? And now you have that video on YouTube. Granted, yes, for you, right? Maybe it's boring, but for the consumer, it's something that can be very beneficial. So I think it goes back to who you're making videos for, right? Who your target audience is. And I know that it's really, really like working for my team. But again, it is so boring. And do I watch the videos? No. Do I skip past them every single time? Yes. But it does help. And again, it's just who your audience is. But poo-poo take by you guys for sure.
I mean, I don't think it was a poo-poo take. I think it was a fun take that actually sparked up some controversy, and there was 80% agreement in the comments. So I do see what you're saying. I just think that, like, the video, it has to be quick cuts. It has to be entertaining. It can't just be this long 5-6 minutes drawn out conversation. And it was like there was this like calling that like someone at a Tom Ferry conference 6 years ago said this once, and then every agent, like their robot light turned on and they're like, must make restaurant owners, must go interview local business owners. And then they all do it. And it's like, it feels so forced. That's what I'm saying. And this guy that commented, I watched his video. His video was actually really good. The one that said he was targeted and attacked, like we, sanctioned some drone strike on him or something. Like this is literally just a fun video that we're talking about.
You called out 75% of the industry. This guy's taking it like you called him out specifically.
Kyle Whistle, one of the best agents in the country with EXP, he does this all the time. He commented on it and was just like, this is an awful take. So I get it.
There's a way
I stand by it. Yeah.
But I mean, you're right. So if it's a 5-minute long video, yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. But if you're able to make it fast, quick, 60 seconds, right? Like then it's more entertaining. Paige.
Oh, I was just going to say there's a way to do it. I think to appeal to the actual owners that they're going to be appreciative and want to use you and like they know you as a real estate agent. And then also to appeal to people in the community. Like I want to know the new spots that are coming in that I want to go check out. So if you do it quick and entertaining and just highlight the best aspects of, hey, this new cool spot that went in, I feel like people appreciate that. There's just a way to do it that makes it entertaining and not boring.
It is so oversaturated though. Like people are doing food reviews. Like you're not Dave
everyone
Portnoy,
thinks they're
okay?
I know everyone thinks they're Portnoy now. Everybody is just like interview or doing reviews of just sandwiches or just anything now.
Yeah, I don't want to care about the rainbow cookie. I don't care about the the chocolate chip cookies down the block. All right,
I actually do. I'm a foodie. Like I want to know what's good to get where. But if it's quick, like I can't watch more than 10 seconds.
But if it's some Douglas, if it's some agent in your marketplace, do you even trust their opinion? Like who deems them the cookie machine, right?
No, I want to know
the cookie monster. You know what I mean?
No, I want to know, like a lot of people in Utah go down to southern Utah where there's like Zion's Angels Landing. So I want to know when I go down here, where should I go and what should I get? So when I go to downtown Salt Lake City, where should I go and what should I get? So I like knowing that stuff. And I think other people do too. But if it's not genuine and you're just like trying to think of something to create content, then no. But
here's a great comment. Nah, this is inaccurate. The point is to be everywhere in your community, and this does the trick. Baby Mike, now you're just trolling. Let's all be very clear. These guys have had success in content space, but are not the authority on what always works. How about the audience your video reaches? Adds one new customer to the business. That is worth it. Never mind the 50 mentioned in this video. So that was a fun comment, saying, and he's right. Like we are, of course, not the authority on all content. We're just voicing an opinion on something. I think the videos suck. That's it. Like
Baby Mike. Like the ones that are like this big, the baby.
I'm talking about the ones on TikTok. Everybody that does these interviews now, they have that like little baby penis mic that they stick in people's faces, and it's weird, isn't it? Like if you're gonna do that, maybe have it in a podcast setting. Shane Bergman did it where he interviewed a local restaurant owner, and they sat down for 40 minutes in a podcast to do that way. You're not interrupting the chef, and like Leonetti said, you got the chicken burning in the oven. And the guy's just like, why is this agent, assaulting me right now with, questions about when this thing was built?
The baby mic is like in style now. Like, I feel like I need to get one. The ones that you hold like that.
I know.
This sounds terrible. It sounds so bad. It's hard to listen to. But I think the great thing about marketing and then in our industry, like I will always happily be proven wrong. If you can show me that you took this and it turned into an actual appointment and helped you sell a house, I'll start doing it tomorrow, right? But I think you got to look at it like, if you want to become the person in your specific community, you got to have a 5-prong attack. It's not just going to be the restaurant videos. You're probably going to have the billboard. You're going to have the bus benches. You're going to have the community focused website. You're going to do community events and do movie nights in the park and things like that, and farm all the houses with direct mail and do the social media. So if it's part of the plan to attack, then I think it can be part of it. But I think if it's your only plan, I don't necessarily see the results being there. And again, I'm happy if someone proves me wrong.
Yeah.
Movie nights in the park? What the hell is that? You're telling me you've set up actual movie nights in a park with your clients?
No, but I know people that have, and I think it's a great
Agents?
idea.
How is that a good idea? Paige, would you do this? Would you be like, hey guys,
Like a kids movie night? Like a kids movie night.
I actually think it's a good idea. Yeah, especially in Utah. It's like such a family oriented place. Like people want free stuff to come do in the summertime. I love it. Maybe I'll start doing it.
I feel like people in Utah have a lot of kids. Like, is that like a normal thing? Like, it's.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's like there's actually full accounts like making fun of Utah moms and like Utah. It's hilarious. I actually want to collaborate with this one girl on a listing and have her be like a Utah mom coming through my listing to see it. But yeah, in general, a lot of kids. It's getting less, but yeah, tons of stuff for families. So it would be great for me.
Yeah, I would never throw a movie night.
Get a projector and like rent out like a grassy knoll and do that.
I think that's so
do it.
cute. You could have like a popcorn station. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I think people would love it here.
you could
Are
have
you guys
making balloon animals.
Yeah, exactly. I could dress as a clown and be angrily interviewing restaurant owners.
Oh my god! Well,
Matt and I were also talking. It'd be great to do like a parody of a local restaurant owner interview. That's very specific to the real estate audience, but one that's just so awkward, or one where like the chef just punches you in the face and is like, why the hell is this guy showing up unannounced to interview me for 15 minutes? He's got an entire film crew and I have a entire audience restaurant here that's trying to get their food. But I stand by the take. Those videos suck. Make them if you want. If they work, good for you.
All right, moving on. We promised every single week we are going to continue to try to highlight marketers. We had Tony B, who is absolutely blown up. I've tried calling Tony B. If you're a fan of the show here, I've tried calling this guy. I swear, maybe
400,000 times.
So, right, 440,000 times, and nobody answered the line. I don't know. You gotta know a guy to get a hold of him, apparently. So we're working on getting him on the show. But we then had Steven Diaz, I believe his name is, last week, the rapping realtor. And we have somebody for this week. So we're going to try to make this a trend each week. So if you're making good content, if you see somebody making good content, send it in. So that way we can help promote and help them, give them a platform. Right.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments who we should promote. The Steven Diaz rapper. I just saw that he's performing somewhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's actually performing the real estate raps or if he's an actual rapper outside of this. We still have to get him on one of these podcasts. But I think realtors are going to start hiring this guy to come just perform at their conference. Because did you guys see him, by the way?
I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's great. Yeah. He's really good.
He's really good. All right, Haley, let's play this this new advertisement by Barack Sky. So this is a video that we're going to see on his Instagram right now, but I actually saw it as an advertisement. So he's boosting this post, and this is one of the most clever advertisements for a real estate business that I've ever seen.
I'm calling Steven Diaz. I want 25%.
All right, watch this.
Kidding. This is a great video.
My realtor drops the ball with communication. It's the best when my realtor doesn't know the market. It's great when they leave me hanging. That's the best. I want real estate to be their side gig. My realtor's a genius.
Yeah, I lost their deposit. So what?
So what? C'est la vie. My realtor sends me houses that are out of my budget. I don't care about a budget. Everything out of my budget. Shaky negotiations are the best. I love to be nervous.
Found out at closing, my condo doesn't accept dogs. Guess I'll get rid of mine.
So funny. My realtor. Things could be a lot better, you know?
That's a great video.
Well done.
Kids, funny, entertaining, dogs, realtor jokes, 10 out of 10.
Awesome.
So do we just send these accounts to BAM? I was just trying to find this other girl. She's awesome. I'm going to send her to you. She's got like blowing up. She has such good content. I'm going to start getting inspiration from, but I'll have to find her and send them to you guys.
Yeah.
That video though is just like textbook. I mean, the children, right? Like I don't even like babies, but like the children,
Those aren't babies.
I know, but I'm saying, like,
What do you think of? You think a baby's like an 8-year-old kid holding a full bred pit bull or whatever that dog was?
Yeah, that was a
full size. I don't know. I only know golden doodles.
Have you ever held a baby before in your life, Eric? Probably not. No.
Yeah, for 2 seconds I did.
Exactly.
Once. It
Me
was
too.
horrifying.
The point is that is just like such good textbook marketing. You have the children, you have the funny jokes, you have what not to do or what not to look for in your realtor. You have the dog in there. 10 out of 10. Everybody should go follow him, and that was amazing.
It sounds corny, but like it is like when that was done, you like feel good watching that. You like ended and like you were smiling the whole time watching it, right? And it's always like if you tell people how good you are, they'll be like, okay, that's just an egotistical person. If someone else tells them how good you are, but then if kids are the ones making the point, and then it's like, okay, yeah, that's just cute, and I feel good watching this, and I'm probably going to check out this person. I think that was genius.
It's genius because it's not even just kids telling them how good this agent is. It's kids talking about how bad all the other agents are. So you're calling out the main problems of communication and sending houses over budget and not caring and forgetting about the HOA rules with the dog. That it's reminding people like, oh yeah, my agent sucked. I got to use this guy. So I thought the hook was brilliant. And it's cute, fluffy dogs, all the above. Paige, did you like that video?
Yeah, I liked it. It looked super high quality too. So.
Yeah.
I wonder how he got all those kids. That was what I was thinking about during the video. Like, does this guy just have like, either he's got a lot of friends with kids, maybe those are actors. Anyway. All right. Well, if you want to turn your business, your marketing from rookie to rock star, Eric, what can we do here?
Yes, if you want to turn your business to rookie to rockstar, look no further than the Jason Pantana Marketing Pro. We're about to announce the winner, by the way. We did a little giveaway last week, so stay tuned for this. We are true believers that marketing can make or break your brand and business. Become a marketing pro by purchasing one of, if not all of his 3 modules. Cracking the Social Code took that one. Incredible. Google Business Boss and Inbox Hero. Our listeners will also be getting a 10% discount by using the code BAMPRO at checkout. Visit tomferry.com/MPB to learn more. All right. Little drum roll here. We had a bunch of people comment the word pro, and by a bunch, I mean 4 or 5 people. So we are giving away a free module for Jason Pantana's course. The names are Living in York, Ontario, Tom Gavin, Victoria Wasselman, Heather Keys, and Jacqueline Smith. So Haley, I don't know if we have a little randomizer here where we have the names.
Look at
We're
this.
gonna spin it right here.
Spin it.
Fire away. This is like you at the roulette table, Dan, for $5,000.
Tables tilted.
And the winner goes to Jacqueline Smith. Yes, Jacqueline. Congratulations. You just won a free module of Marketing Pro. Where the hell did I go? Did I just knock my camera off?
Eric just got.
I was clapping so loud I knocked my camera off.
You're watching. All you can see is the stupid little thing. Like, oh my god! All right.
Now I'm down here and I look 10 times worse because my camera.
Oh my god!
My main camera just. I literally knocked it out of my computer. But congratulations, Jack, and Dan will be getting in touch with you. He'll shoot you a DM.
Nope, I will not.
Someone will be.
You look like a tree right now. My God.
I know. This is a horrible angle. Let me hold this.
All right. Anyway, listen. All right. That's an even worse angle. Happy birthday to my mom. Happy 1-year anniversary to BAM. Congratulations, Tom. Welcome to the BAM team. Paige, congrats on a new studio here. You look incredible. The studio looks incredible. Thank you guys for tuning in. Congratulations to Jacqueline. Let's go Islanders.
Let's go Leafs. Follow Tom Storey at Story Team. Follow Utah Real Estate Page. Follow Danny Deals at Dan Oneil. And let's go Islanders. What?
Dan
Oneil.
Let's go
Dan
Leafs.
Oneil.
Dude, I'm gonna take my.
I said let's go Leaves. Let's go Leaves for Tom.
I like it. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, Haley.
Bye.
Hi, Diane.